Lawrence family turning to 7 Eyewitness News after a daycare scare involving their son. They say that their 19-month-old son, Caden, choked on a pretzel and then lost consciousness before he was finally revived.
Tonight, the State Office of Children and Family Services is investigating this case. Parents telling us tonight they feel the whole thing was downplayed by Doodlebug's daycare in Cheektowaga. One of the questions tonight, was this center prepared to respond to an emergency like choking? Jill Perkins spoke with the parent. She has the story you'll see only on 7 tonight.
High five! Boom!
It's easy to see that 19-month-old Caden is the light of his parents' lives, so it's hard for Ben and Madison to even think about what they say happened to their son at Doodlebug's daycare on Lawson Road in Cheektowaga back on July 13th.
Myself and Madison received a voicemail saying that Caden had a small incident, no concerns, nothing to worry about. But he was choking. Everything's okay now. But
Ben says what Doodlebugs described as a small incident was actually much worse. In fact, the parents say they didn't know just how close of a call it was until 2 days later when Ben went to the daycare and watched with the director of the facility surveillance video of his toddler when it happened.
You see my son just go limp and kind of fall back, head back, back arched, arms out. And you see him that way for close to a minute.
In the video, which Doodlebugs will not release due to privacy regulations, Ben says the teacher holding his son eventually used her fingers to clear the toddler's airway. Doodlebugs president and CEO Anthony Encina tells 7 Eyewitness News in part the toddler was beginning to choke on a pretzel. One teacher swept the child's mouth and cleared the child's airway. The child was alert and upright at all times. The child did not lose consciousness, and in a later email, Encina said the pretzel was in the child's mouth, not down the airway, so reaching in with your fingers and removing any food is the first step. 7 Eyewitness News spoke to that teacher, though, who asked to remain anonymous. She tells us she has since been let go from her job at Doodlebugs and has an entirely different account of what happened. She says the daycare never trained her on how to handle choking incidents and that the toddler was limp, unresponsive, his body language changed, his face turned purple, adding she felt he would have died in my arms if she didn't take some action. Doodlebug says all teachers are required to go through safety training before working with children. 7 Eyewitness News learning that Doodlebug's Lawson Road location was issued this violation by the New York Office of Children and Family Services on July 15th, 2 days after Caden choked. It states in part the licensee must prepare a health care plan on forms furnished by the office. Doodlebugs tells us, quote, the technical violation was in regard to our health care plan, not the actions of our staff during this incident.
It raises a lot of red flags. Are these teachers trained properly? Do they know how to deal with emergency services?
Now, again, the teacher who was directly involved in what happened, well, she said Doodlebugs never provided her with choking or CPR training, a claim Doodlebugs denies, and that the daycare did not give her a reason for her firing. The New York State Office of Children and Family Services tells us it is actively investigating this incident. Now, I've posted more information about the violation on WKBW.com. Jill Perkins, 7 Eyewitness News.